everyone, just a quick video today on how to take your slides from PowerPoint and create a video out of them. Could be very useful if you're doing some online teaching or want to make a simple YouTube video. Let's get right to it. There, now as I said, I'm in Microsoft PowerPoint 365, and this is just a presentation I had set up for this. I've got my picture in the corner here, but I don't think you really need to see that right now. So why would you record slides as a video? Well, slides are pretty easy for most people. They're familiar, and most people know what to do with them. They can look at them when they want, and it's a little easier for many people than actually reading notes and reading slides. They can actually just interact with it in a different way. Videos are platform independent. It doesn't really matter what kind of device you've got. It probably is going to be able to play it. You also don't have to worry about having people receiving your presentation having to have specific software or specific type of application to be able to run your presentation. That's a big one these days, is to be able to make it easier for people. You probably already have your slides done, and if not, get on it. But recording to them is much simpler, because you've got your content and you just present it and then save it as a video. What I think is the most important is actually that you are the one actively presenting those slides. Your voice is explaining in a way that you want to explain what's going on in your content. That's very much like doing it in front of a bunch of people, but certainly it allows it to be a little less stressful if you're putting it out to a lot of people. At Microsoft, they describe that virtually everything you do within a presentation can be recorded, whether it's just your audio narration, a video camera, animations, all those things, even the pointer, and I can use the pointer to highlight things. All of that is built right in, and it was part of your PowerPoint slide file. When you export to a video, it stays in the video. But if you go back to your presentation, you can change things as you'd like. So I've broken this down into the 5 simple steps that I think are the easiest way to do this. So let's go through them. 1, make your slides. If you've done that, you're way ahead. If not, just finish them up. The second step is to get set up. You'll probably need to do this the first time, maybe a couple of times, just until you're familiar with how it works. It's not that difficult. The hard part is actually recording. If you are recording and you don't like talking into a microphone or talking at a computer screen, it's going to be an issue for you for sure. But you can do it slowly and do it one slide at a time to make it perfect if you like. And the next step is actually, once you're done, is review what you've got. If it's not quite right, tweak it. Every slide is independently manipulatable, and you'll be able to get everything the way you want eventually. And the 5th step is actually pretty simple as well, as exporting to a video. There's very few options, and so it's really only a few clicks away and you can get a video file out of your slides. So one by one, I make my slides in PowerPoint. Some people like Google Slides. They can actually export those as a PowerPoint file and then start into this process. It doesn't really matter how you do it. It's the content that's the important part. So I think that's probably the first thing you should get onto, is those slides. The second step is actually getting ready to record, and most computers have a built-in microphone. The quality just sucks usually, but if it's all you've got, you might as well use it. I use this small one called a Samsung Go mic, and it works very well for what I want, and it's portable, very easy to use, and it gives reasonable quality. My voice is the thing that's not the good quality. The mic is not the problem here. The first thing you need to do when you're in your presentation and your slides are done is to go to the slideshow menu item and look for the record slideshow button. The record slideshow button actually has a little caret here to select. One option is to start recording from the beginning of the presentation. That's what I do most often. The other one is to allow you to start at the current slide, and that's useful if you're just cleaning up the recordings one slide at a time. Once you've done that, you move on to another screen, and that will allow you the controls to record your video directly. This is the view that you get when you're ready to record. In the top corner, you got some controls for starting and stopping the recording. This part will give you your settings of what's connected. This will tell you what's turned on and off for devices. You've got a timer at the bottom, and all of these things are the pens and colors that you've got available to highlight things on screen. When I go to the settings up here, I can see that my Go mic is connected as the audio source. If you select that caret, you can actually see what else is available if you have options. And for a video source, I have a webcam. If you don't want to use a webcam, that's not a problem. So the next step is to actually record your presentation. If you're starting from the beginning, just get into it. You can always stop and start. You can pause, no problem. Everything will work quite well for you. Get everything that you can, talk the way you want, use your notes if you want to, because they can't see them if you don't have your camera on, and do your presentation. Once you've actually done the presentation, every slide that's got audio has a little icon that shows up, and that's the little icon that says, yes, there's audio here. And it's very useful to know, because then you can change that. You can delete it, you can crop it, you can do all sorts of things. The fourth step is actually to review your work. And again, reviewing your audio is probably a big part of this, but also reviewing the transitions between slides and how that timing works. That is definitely worth your while, making sure that's right. How do you do that? Well, actually, everything you've done in your presentation has actually been put in as an animation. So if you go to your animations page, you're in the menu, and then the animation pane button up here, all this stuff here is every time I clicked one of these things, it actually made animations happen. So those you can manipulate and change the timing if you want. The timing between slides, you can do that as well. So lots of controls here if you want to deal with them. If you don't want to deal with them, that's okay. The final step, easy, is to export to a video. And what I do is I go to the File menu, and then down here, Export, and then go Create a Video. And then with that, you go to the right panel, and then you have a few options. This one, Full HD, is the first one that pops up. I often do that. I can change that with the drop down over here if I think the file is going to be too large. You can do this multiple times and just see. The most important thing is this thing needs to be selected to use those timings and narrations that are on each slide. If you've got them on the slide, they'll export to the video. If this is not selected, then the number of seconds that you want to spend on each slide is going to be what's happening in your video. Your slides will just go running by, and your audio will do its own thing, and it'll be a bit of a mess. So make sure you don't use this part and you do use the recorded timings and narrations, then press this button. That will create your video, we'll save it somewhere that you want, and you're done. So what do you do with your video? Well, I teach a lot, so I could post my videos to an online learning management system so that students can find them. They can watch the video, often give them the slide as a PDF so they can read it at the same time. But this is the most common way that I find I do it. Another option is to upload to YouTube. That's actually a good choice for if you've got issues with file size here. If they don't let you send a very large file, post to YouTube, there's usually less of a limitation there. And then simply share a link in this if you want, or email the link to somebody, because then it makes it a lot simpler. There's no files being transferred. It's just a link to connect to that video. The older way is to share it directly, try to email it. Not going to happen. Or put it on a cloud drive or a portable stick. Depends on what you want to do with it, really. But the first two are really the most important ones, I think. So now you've got your slides. You've made them as a video. You've posted them. The next step is just to try doing it better next time. So hopefully that was useful. Let me know if you have some ideas of what else you'd like to learn about, and talk to you later. Bye.